Hi everyone, this is a video introducing you to some projects that I have created. So as you all know, I have started my Onshape YouTube journey in somewhere near the beginning of my 7th grade, and I'm really happy I have had the opportunity to carry through it for such a long time. Um, and now I want to add more to my channel by creating some projects. So I have created this basic project that I hope will be beneficial to you and for some people in my club. I have an after school club in my school. I really hope that this would be an introduction to you. Um, so the first thing we're going to go over is just the basics of the project, my motive for the project, and then the design aspects and everything. So let's begin. So this project is sustainable goal logos. Let's get into it. And just as a reminder, or just as a idea, all my project links are going to be in the description, so please be on the lookout for that. So the first thing we're going to go over is the background. So some background is that this Department of Economics and Social Affairs at the UN, or the United Nations, works closely with governments and stakeholders to help countries around the world meet their economic, social, and environmental goals. The department has created 17 sustainable goals, as you can see here. One is no poverty, one is zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, build resilient infrastructure, and promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. Climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and finally, partnership for the goals. So I have used these to come up with a project so that you will be a company that that works towards one of the established goals. So, for example, there's Crop Life International. This is a company that works towards the goal of no poverty. And Kellogg's, it's a very famous cereal company, actually works towards the goal of zero hunger. So these are respectively the first and second sustainable goals. So you will be the CEO of a company that you have created. It doesn't have to be an actual company, it can be imaginary for now. Haha. um, but I hope that you will have to design a logo for it describing the purpose of your company. So see, for example, Kellogg's was just its name, but Crop Life, for example, is a really good example because it has a very creative logo. It's like crops, but it has a very authentic feel to it. I want you to create something like Crop Life's logo. So then what you'll have to do is you'll have to write a short mission statement. So what does your company do? Something like that. And the final thing you will do is design your final in Onshape. So first thing, here are the steps that you're gonna have to go over, right? So you're going to have to choose a goal. Which one of the 17 sustainable goals are you gonna choose? Will it be no hunger, no poverty, or education for all, decreasing inequalities, something like that? Then you're going to have to design a company motto. For example, what does your company go by? Wendy's is, I believe, hold on, let's search up Wendy's motto. Wendy's motto. You know when it's real. A motto or a slogan, they're essentially the same thing. Let's look at McDonald's slogan. I'm sure a lot of you know that. I'm loving it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is you're going to design a logo. right? After you have a company's motto, you know what your company works for. What is it? What does it stand by? The ideals it stands by, right? So you're going to design a logo based on it. It can be designed in Canva, on paper, it doesn't really matter. It's just a brief idea. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do research to refine your logo, right? What colors are related to your goal and what symbols are related to your goal. So for example, a really common one, peace, a dove is related. Peace is also known for white. Um, for example, crops, green represent crops and maybe a simple leaf represents crops. So then what you're going to do is you're going to add in a couple of colors and symbols to your logo. And then you're going to create your final draft. This can be on paper, but it has to be neat. And preferably, you have to take a photo of it. So maybe add very detailed colors to it. You could also use Canva. It would come out a lot more precise if you did it with Canva, but you can do it on paper as well. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of your final and upload it to Onshape and create your logo on Onshape. But finally, you're going to write a project report and you're going to print and hang up your creation. For people doing this at home, just you can post it on social media, do something, and get across that you support 17 sustainable goals. Then what you're going to do is in this slide, you're going to insert your draft. Remember your first and second draft. Your first draft has to be pretty rough. Your second draft has to be added with color. And then you can add your final here as well. So then what you're going to do is you can take a picture of your final and upload it to Onshape, right? If you watch my McDonald's, Spotify videos, they show you how to trace images. That's essentially all I'm explaining over here. It's just really simple. Upload a picture, use the spline tool, and add your text, like for example, the UN nations, how it adds United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. You can add something like that. And then you can add a background, just add something that makes it different from the Onshape background. It would look a lot better. And then extrude each part or each sketch, and then add colors to it. So here are some reference videos. I'll add in the McDonald's video. I don't know why it's gone now, but I can add that in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture or a snipping of your image in Onshape and add it in here. You can even share it with me. I can put my email and link in the slideshow and in the description. Then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to write a small project report. So your first sentence, it's just a guide. You don't have to use it word for word, but a simple guide. First sentence, your motto, or what is your company's function, or even just say what goal it works for. Your second sentence, introduce your company, right? Name, motto, and even where you want the prediction for your company in the future. Then talk about how you designed your logo, right? What colors were associated with this goal, or what symbols were associated with this goal. And finally, just in the fourth sentence, talk about what you felt throughout the experience and how did you feel designing it in CAD? Was it different than you expected? Was it more artistic than you expected? Was it more precise than you expected? And people want to know your thoughts about this. So that's it. You can turn this in for people who are in my club. Please turn this in so I can format it for you and then print out so you can hang it around your posters. And people who are doing this at home, I can post a template so that you can insert this yourself and you can print it out, post it on social media, do anything you want with it. So have fun with this project. Please give me feedback. I am open to feedback. This was one of my first projects that I have designed, and I really, really would appreciate as much feedback as I could get. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.